You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut. Exactly. Rewind. Rewind. Exactly. Rewind.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut. You know why you're here, don't you? The dead girl. And this. What exactly were you thinking? You have one job. Don't get caught. Do you think you can do that this time? It's a rhetorical question. You're going to a town called August. Find Chief DuPont. He's gonna think you're someone else. This person. This is who you are now. Understood? Splendid. If someone so much as sniffs that you're different, you'll be deprecated.
Deprecated.
We expect you to use your ability. Just don't get caught. And never, ever change into a child.
In brighter news, August resident Mia French is celebrating the return of her missing pooch, Barley. The 8-month-old Basset Hound puppy was found outside Daryl's Chicken and Ribs.
And that's 5 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
I'm Violet. Welcome to the guest house. There are some rules. In particular, no shoes in the guest house. The carpets are priceless. Now, how long are you staying for? That's fine. It's yours for as long as you want it. There's not been many visitors of late. Perhaps the murder will bring some tourists in. It's just you and some tarot readers at the moment. It's deathly quiet. Yes, the murder. You haven't spoken to the chief yet, have you? Chief DuPont. He's the one who booked the room for you. You look lost. You should probably go and speak to the chief. Your room is just down the hall, last on the left. It has its own back door. The chief said that's the way you'd like it.
Just finishing.
Yeah, it's a big place. Hi, I'm Bronwyn. Pleased to meet you, Sam. If you'd like a reading. So, what's your question, Sam? The Fool. I'm going to see a lot more of you, aren't I, Sam? Enjoy the journey. But remember, not everything is winnable. I'm in room 1 and that's down the hall. Lorraine's in 2, Lexi's in 3. And which room are you in, Sam? Good. We're neighbours. Just knock if you need me.
I took a deep breath and lowered myself to the ground. Miss? My voice cracked and I cleared my throat, trying to retain the masculine depth that was currently hiding behind the remnants of puberty as fear swelled within me. My hand over hers, reassuring her as she lightly squeezed my hand. I spoke to her. Hang on.
Good, you got my message. Chief Inspector DuPont. I wasn't sure you'd come, but I suppose you're between jobs? Well, we both know that's not true. But I like it. Sam. That's your cover now. So, the job. Dorota Shaw. 21, accomplished cellist, redhead. Strangled. I know who did it, but I need proof. It's the tarot readers. Because they predicted it. The older one, Bronwyn, she came into my office last night talking all crazy and saying Dorota was in trouble. I did my best not to lock her up. It all sounded crazy to me. Tarot, the spirit world, cards that move, trans-dimensional thingamajigs. To be honest, I thought she'd probably been smoking something, and that's why I didn't take it seriously. Because things, I don't have enough on her, that's where you come in. The free guest house stay isn't free. I need you to work the case and report back to me. Find out things from the inside. Can you do it? Okay. I'll be telling everyone that you've been hired by the Shaws because obviously local law enforcement is either too incompetent or too overworked to solve anything. That gives you a license to talk to people, but only notionally. Don't actually touch people or annoy them. You don't have any real authority, understand? But you help me out, I'll help you. You don't get that. There's no badge and gun, just a hope and a promise. Come and find me when you're settled. This is Second Chance Sunday for you, Sam. Don't blow it. In her bedroom, she was naked. Strangled. No signs of sexual activity of any kind. It was a weird scene to look at. There was one thing, but it's strictly between you and me. Dorota had a gold coin in her mouth. I'm being serious now, Sam. Not a word of this. It's the one thing only the killer would know. Not much. Perhaps you should do some investigation? What do you want to know? She was a cellist, selected for a scholarship at Juilliard. It was in the local paper. I'm more of a Bon Jovi fan myself. Don't read the paper, do you? Yesterday, Monday the 9th at approximately 9 p.m, according to the coroner, we got a call from the mother just after 10 p.m. They're as thick as thieves, covering for each other. Well, except the male one. You'll see what I mean. Obviously. Anyone who walks in, predicts a murder, then that murder happens? Suspicious.
Or the glass shards that splinter from the screen, because at that moment, that very moment, she's with me again, gripping my hand tightly.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
Dimitri's Descent by Chris Hoppenbrowers, read by...
You must be a new guest. Or you're burglaring us. I'm Rain, by the way. Pleased to meet you, Sam. Enjoy your stay. The hot water goes off at 9, by the way, so it's cold showers from there on in. It really bugs me. I didn't know her. I know she was called Dorota Shaw. She was young, had red hair, a talented musician. No, not at all. You're completely barking up the wrong tree there. Sam, I don't have a motive for killing Dorota. Full stop. I'd have to be possessed to murder anything. Do you believe in possession, Sam? Oh, there's more than just one form of possession, Sam. It's just a blanket term. We did a reading. A group reading, actually. With a special tarot deck. You get it piecemeal. Not everything in one reading. The last one we did showed a young woman being murdered. Young, talented, probably red-headed. Mercury? It's not exactly from here. With a normal tarot deck, you'd have the question, so you'd be the querent. With Mercury, it gives you the question and the answer. The cards themselves kind of change. It's a special deck. I don't have it at the moment. Bronwyn has it.
Experts in their fields, those being paleontology, linguistics, and exobiology respectively.
I assume you've been to see Chief DuPont already. They're tarot readers. I'm thinking of asking them to leave, actually. Because they may have killed someone. It's not great for my reputation, is it? Stay at Violet's, the home of killers and hobos. It's not the first time I've harboured killers, Sam. I'm sure it won't be the last. Not really. I'm sure she was a precious lamb, though. Yes, a lamb. Young. Innocent. Lambs get slaughtered, though, don't they? Nice, yes, that's a good description. Actually, I thought she was a bit slutty, to be honest. Sorry. I'm gossiping. I don't want to talk ill of the dead. Ask her boyfriend. Oscar lives at the vicarage next to the church. Don't tell him I sent you, though. I'm sure he's sick of seeing people already.
500 meters. Are you really planning to do the same thing while expecting different results? Are you calling us in...
Sam, is it? I'm sensing you're not here for a reading. Mercury? Sure. I'll just get it. feels a bit sacrilegious just spreading it out to show you. It doesn't really answer questions, it more asks them. Do you want it to ask you a question, Sam? It wants to know if you're happy being the person you are now. Mercury doesn't agree. In fact, if anything, and I could be wrong, it's suggesting that you're not even the person you're saying you are now. I've only had that reading once before. In my room reading, I found a trashy romance novel under the bed. I'm assuming it's Violet's. It's all swooning heroines and brooding vampire Casanovas. Thank God Lexi saved me. No, not at all. Lexi popped in and we chatted for a bit, but that's all. I said the book was trashy. Look at this place. If her guest house is anything to go by, Violet's the opposite of trashy. We saw it in the cards, not images, feelings, impressions. Tarot can be very powerful. Not these cards. They only tell us what they want us to know.
Confirm that their communication was still working, and to notify them of the depth of his descent. 200 meters, 300 meters, 400, 5...
Hi, Sam, is it? Come on in, make yourself at home. Mi casa es su casa. Come on. The cards told us to. Well, the cards of rain. Tarot gives us a rough direction and he narrows it down with some astrological jiggery-pokery. He's basically a walking esoteric library. And if that sounds dull, let me reassure you, it is. No? Well, yeah. Well, no. We have a job to do. I didn't say job. I said job. Okay, we make a cheese obelisk, a chob, and depending on the shape of that chob, we get different answers to questions. No, you don't. I was in my room all night with Bronwyn. We were painting our nails. No. I mean, yeah, I've already cleaned it off. She's like my big sister, so pretty well. No. I don't know anyone in this town, except for Bronwyn and Rain, obviously, and Violet, and the Chief, and now you. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Good old-fashioned fortune-telling. Well, kind of. We drew a card each and smushed them all together. Do you know what the most dangerous tarot card is? Everybody thinks that. It's such a cliche. The death card doesn't even mean death. Most of the time. The Five of Swords. I think so anyway. There's nothing more dangerous than someone taking whatever they want no matter the cost. Yeah, I did. Rain got the Knight of Wands, that's Dorota, and Bronwyn got the Ten of Swords, which is, well, you know, swords in general are bad.
There were whispers. Overcome by a sudden and severe dread, Dimitri...
Find somewhere safe to transition. You're not a superhero.
Hi, I'm Lexi. I'm Lexi.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn.
Dimitri returned to his private quarters and plumped down on the bed, exhausted. He hadn't told anyone about the whispers in the dark.
Ron, are you okay?
I'm not okay.
Well, if you're worried, I should be worried. Why are you worried? Should I be worried?
Are you worried?
Only if you are. This could go on in circles for a while. Let's just keep cool and stay in our rooms.
Wasn't sure which was scarier. He had, however, showed Dr. Yutani.
Is there something I can help with, Miss Castle?
I hope we're not being too much trouble.
It's very brave of you to tell the chief that Dorota will be murdered and then stick around afterwards. I'd have run for sure.
You strike me as someone braver than that. Why would I run?
You're prime suspect, aren't you? You look strong enough to strangle another woman. Even if you're innocent, a jury would probably convict you.
Even if I'm innocent, you look strong enough to strangle another woman too.
Well, if you can't pay for your rooms, you might just find out.
He awoke later that night, startled by the sounds of loud whispering, and switched on the light next to his bed. It wasn't...
Ron, something doesn't feel right. I don't know what exactly, but it's not right.
Thoughts on Dorota?
Well, it's hard to say with just one victim. Musical talent, red hair. If there's another, there will be a pattern. Do you think it's another right?
A right?
As in the same thing we were chasing after in Birmingham? I suppose it doesn't really matter. Just have to try and stop it.
Stop it? Birmingham?
The Traveller? Dead girls? Ring any bells?
Traveller?
If it follows the same pattern as Birmingham, we're looking at 2 more victims.
Returning from their shifts. Is anyone here? He asked, and waited. Again, there was no...
Hi, I'm Lexi. I'm Lexi.
Knowing what came over him, Dimitri yelled out in frustration and fear, stomping his feet like a...
What's up, Lexi? I'm sensing something's on your mind.
I'm worried about our alibi.
Don't worry about that. We don't have anything to hide. You're just fine.
Do you think Sam suspects? Am I?
Maybe. But it'll be difficult to prove.
Source of the sound. He reached out his hand, but no one was there. Dimitri was both perplexed and overcome by a frightful panic.
Hello, I'm Violet. I'm Violet.
To him, as the murmurs grew louder, Dimitri was almost able to make out individual words in a language wholly unknown to him or any other man. Its harsh consonants and unearthly vowels chilled him to the bone. Dimitri covered his ears to make it stop, but the nameless voices only grew...
You don't trust me, do you, Violet? Is it because I read tarot? Why don't you let me pull a card for you?
No, thank you. Okay.
Great. What do you want to know about?
The murder. My love life. Sam.
Interesting choice. So do the cards. 8 of Wands. Everything's happening all at once. We have to act fast, or at least someone does.
Did you sleep well last night?
Yes, thank you.
I didn't see you yesterday evening.
I stayed in my room. You can ask Lexi. That reminds me, I think I found a book of yours. It's called He Came Through the Shadows.
What makes you think it's mine?
Your name's written on the inside cover.
Did you find anything down there? Dr. Whitfield asked. All we heard was static. More writing from the strangers? She studied the letters, hemming and hawing. It's just one word repeated over and over. I need to cross-reference with the data list file.
It's the strangest thing. I honestly don't remember. But I imagine I was here or getting groceries somewhere. I've driven by it, never actually been in it.
Dr. Remington looked at the others in confusion, then at Dimitri. How did you know? Dimitri snapped back to reality. We've had this conversation before. Is it possible you're having deja vu? Asked Dr. Remington. No.
Chief DuPont thinks I did it. I'm hoping you'll convince him otherwise. All I'm asking is that you dig a little deeper than the chief. I had nothing to do with Dorota's death. We saw danger in the cards and we tried to stop it. Trust me, Sam, we're on the same team.
Dimitri tried to find the words. I'll go to sleep, and when I wake tomorrow, I'll be blind, and everyone else will be gone.
Hello, I'm Rain.
Shoulder. Nothing to worry about. Dimitri just stared into empty space, his eyes filled.
Have you met the new detective yet? We're basically under 24-hour surveillance now.
Do you think Sam's onto us?
Onto what exactly?
The real reason we're here. What we did. Our role in the murder.
We just predicted murder. It's a prophecy, not a to-do list. I don't want to look like we're hiding something, but at the same time...
We're hiding something?
Look at us acting all cloaks and daggers. Just relax. We haven't done anything wrong.
Of cold and hollow whispers in the darkness. He didn't bother.
Rain, I'm so worried about Bronwyn. What are we going to do?
Why are you worried about Bronwyn?
The chief thinks she killed Dorota.
Maybe she did kill Dorota.
That's not even funny, Rain. Bronwyn's the least murdery person we know. Okay, let's say she did do it. What possible reason could she have for killing Dorota?
Psychopathic tendency? Crime of passion?
Maybe. Maybe Bronwyn and Dorota were secretly lovers, and Bronwyn found out that Dorota was seeing someone else and killed her in a jealous fit of rage. Or maybe that's just another one of your twisted late night fantasies, in which case, leave me out of it.
Perhaps represented as danger of certain people, people that this
Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
There are different elements here that I'd like to discuss. So, firstly, the idea of a circus. Now, when you go to the circus, it's massive and it's a crazy experience. And
I was in my room. Praying, actually. I don't believe in God, but I was still praying. It didn't work. My prayer that the girl would be safe.
You need the balance.
Do exactly. That's exactly right. So what the tightrope refers to is actually the balance in your life. Now, you were exactly spot on, actually, about the sharks being something negative. So, what I think from what you said about your dream is that, and to avoid the negative people in your life. And I also think that you detract their attention.
Yeah, because they're busy. They're busy.
Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi say they were in the same room last night. Shame they can't agree which one. The tarot readers have mentioned a job. We don't know what. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. That's it. Born here, runs the local guest house. Lovely lady. Where are you going with this, Sam? What's she told you? Look, if it's about the pills, I already know. Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi say they were in the same room last night. Shame they can't agree which one. The tarot readers have mentioned a job. We don't know what. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, and you found out she's taking pills. Perhaps they're related. That's it.
It's 6 o'clock, and you're listening to Radio August. Police investigating the murder of Dorota Shaw are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe?
It's just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip Festival?
Indeed. I understand why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout for dark clouds on the horizon, as there may be scattered showers. Best take an umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
I like getting wet. That's 6 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
To put that one out of its misery.